Hi, WAS students. So this week, since I got so many requests to do a class on self-defense, I've taken your requests and we're doing self-defense. So the first and most important thing about self-defense and about surviving in a self-defense situation is having situational awareness. So what that means is being alert and knowing what's going on around you at all times. Um, the reason situational awareness is the most important thing is because it can do a few things for you. One, it can help you avoid getting into a fight, which is obviously way better than getting into a fight. So you don't get into a fight, you're not going to get hurt. The reason being is if you're looking around, you're going to see the threat before it's too late. So you're walking down the street, being aware looks like looking behind you every once in a while. And noticing things that are out of place or people that look sketchy, right? If you're walking down the street and there's like a family of 4 walking towards you, you're probably not going to think, oh, okay, they're going to attack me. But what if there's 3 guys and they're all staring at you in a weird way? That's sketchy, right? So being aware of that is going to give you options, right? One thing that you could do is maybe you could change your route. You could make a sudden turn and see if they follow you. If they don't follow you, then don't worry about it. If they do follow you, then you're at least prepared. You know that something might be happening, right? And the biggest thing it's going to do for you is take away their element of surprise. This is super important because humans are very fragile, very easy to kill, very easy to hurt. And so no matter how strong you are, no matter how well trained you are, if someone who wants to harm you is able to surprise you, then your chances are not good. If someone comes up behind you and hits you over the back of the head with a bat, your chances are not good. You're going to lose that fight. So if you are alert and aware, you can take away their element of surprise and be ready for something to give yourself at least a fighting chance. Alright, so before we move on to some tips and tricks to help survive a fight, I thought it was important to mention 2 more things, okay? So the first thing is your life is more important than your stuff. So if someone is basically threatening you with a knife or a gun or whatever because they want your wallet or your phone, just keep in mind that money comes and goes, right? Your card, you can cancel your card. You can get your driver's license again, or whatever it is that's in your wallet that you're afraid of losing. If you lose your life, it's not coming back, okay? Same with the phone. You may say, oh, but I have the iPhone whatever, and it's $1,000. How much is your life worth? So keep that in mind. If it's possible, if you could be seriously injured or killed, then it might be worth it just to give them what they're asking for. But in some cases, that isn't an option. They're bent on violence, or you need to protect someone else, right? And then the second important point is that if someone is getting close to you and you aren't sure what their intentions are, like maybe they just want to talk, or maybe they actually do want to be violent, it's really important that you keep your hands up where they can protect you. If somebody's getting really close to you and maybe puffing their chest out and acting aggressive and your hands are down here, then you're totally unprepared for whatever they might do. So anytime you're close to someone and you don't know them and you don't know what they want, you should be talking with your hands. Your hands should be up here like, oh, well, and this is just good talking skills, but what it does is it gets your hands up here where you can block or you can strike, and you're ready. If they were to suddenly launch a surprise attack at you and try to punch you or whatever, your hands are already up and ready to block for you. if you're not good at doing this sort of talking with your hands, one thing that I do sometimes that kind of looks natural is I just have my hands together like this while I'm talking with someone, and they're at least up at my chest level, ready to do whatever. Alright, so for this next part of the video, I have my lovely assistant, Rebecca Meehan, because we're moving into what happens when you have to fight, and what are some tips and tricks you can use to end the fight quickly. That's what you're trying to do. So if you have to fight, you need to end it as quickly as possible in order to get out of there safely. The longer the fight drags on, the worse your chances are, okay? So, first trick that's very, very useful in any fighting situation is the headbutt. The headbutt is a perfect defense for you girls out there if you're struggling with like a taller, stronger opponent. So Becca is going to help me demonstrate what that looks like. And before we get into it, all of the tricks and tips that I'm giving you for fighting, they really only work if they're a surprise. So you have to make it surprising. How you do that is by not acting tough, by acting timid, scared, like a victim, okay? So somebody is encroaching on your space, they're trying to control you. What you're gonna do is you're gonna start getting into a crouch, and you're gonna explode forward straight into the middle of their face, right into the nose. You want to hit them, it's not like soccer, you don't want to hit them with your forehead. You want to hit them up here with the crown of your head, okay? It's one of the thickest, strongest bones in your body, and you're going against a bunch of fragile little facial bones. The fight is over. If you hit them with a good headbutt, they're not getting up, okay? Broken nose, black eyes, it's devastating. So, again, this is for if they're already close to you. You're not going to launch yourself from 3 feet away to try this. If they're already getting close and trying to manhandle you, that's the perfect time for a headbutt, right? And I moved my head away because I knew she was going to do it. But if you're just getting small, like, oh no, and then you just launch into it, they're not going to be ready for it and the fight's over. Okay, so there's only one more thing I'm going to talk about. The headbutt was really the only trick that I'm going to teach you because if I give you a bunch of stuff, you're not going to remember it, and you're going to be confused, and it's not going to help you in a moment of panic, right? So remember the headbutt, put that up your sleeve to use when you need it. The only other thing I'm going to tell you is if you get into a fight where you're swinging, don't close your fist. Don't hit people with a closed fist. The reason for that is all of these bones are very small and very fragile, and super easy to break. And if you're swinging at someone's face or head, it's really easy for them to duck down like this, and you could just totally crush your hand against their skull. And then the fight really is over for you because you can't strike anymore, you've just wasted your weapons. So hit with open hands. A really hard slap with your palm in the side of the face or the jaw is going to be just as horrible as a punch, okay? A punch and an open hand slap are not that different. The only difference is with a punch, you're risking your hand way, way more than with like an open hand slap or palm to the nose or whatever. Keep your hands open, protect your fingers, otherwise you're going to lose, okay? And then the other thing that's helpful, if you have the presence of mind to do this when you're fighting with someone, is keep your chin down. Don't be fighting like this, don't be peacocking, because this is the easy button. If they hit you there, then you get knocked out. So you want to have your chin down, and this is a lower profile target than this, right? Don't have your head up here like this. Keep your chin down so it's not easy to knock you out, and slap them.